You think just getting vaccines into the arms of Canadians would be enough complexity? Well, now Canada's top spy agency, CSIS, is warning that malicious foreign actors could be tapping into our vaccine supply chain, trying to thwart the process. Who exactly is doing this? What's their end goal? What are their strategies? I'm going to break it down now with the associate professor at the Norman Paterson School of International Affairs and the former national security analyst at CSIS, Stephanie Carvin, is here. Steph, always a pleasure to have you on the program. I don't think people had thought about this aspect of the vaccine chain. How significant is this warning from CSIS?
I think it's very significant, not just the warning itself, but to the point that they're actually speaking publicly about it, right? I mean, 5 years ago, we didn't see these kinds of warnings in the same way. So I think this kind of represents a change in the nature of the threat to the point where, CSIS, CSE, the other intelligence departments realize they can't just sit on Intelligence Mountain and watch things happen, but they have to be more proactive, speak to the private sector, other parts of the public sector about the nature of this threat and why it is so significant.
Let's talk about the nature of the threat, because I was speaking to Anita Anand, the procurement minister, the other day on this program, and she said security is a big factor. What are the threats to the vaccine supply chain?
Really, it runs the full gamut, everything from criminal to disruptive to full-on state actor attacks trying to either disrupt the research, steal the research, or actually disrupt the actual supply of the vaccine to Canada and Canadians. There really is, it's probably easier sometimes, I think, to list what isn't a problem than what actually is. There's a number of actors who have a real incentive in either trying to make sure Canadians don't trust the vaccines or that they don't get them at all.
Okay, who would that be? And give us their rationale. Is this the usual suspects? Is it a Russia? Is it a China?
Yeah, I mean, you have to put them on the list, probably first and foremost, as the main state actors posing some kind of threat. We've already seen accusations against Russia hacking into Canada this summer. There's also been accusations of state actors and cyber criminals, so gangs of cyber criminals that either operate independently or with the permission of governments such as the Chinese and Russian governments, who have basically been targeting the Pfizer refrigeration facilities with ransomware attacks, with other, our hospitals are constantly under attack from ransomware. We've seen numerous attacks going on. And these ransomware attacks, they serve dual purposes. In the first instance, of course, they raise money for criminal gangs, but they also have that disruptive effect, right? So there's those aspects of it. And then you have threats to the supply chain. So, even when they're going out, you want, do you plan some kind of malicious cyber attempt against the actual companies that are going to be moving these vaccines across the country in order to disrupt the supply? There's also the risk, of course, of physical attacks. We've seen a number of anti-mask, anti-vax movements in Canada recently. These are people who, believe for whatever false reasons that vaccines are evil or they shouldn't be handed out. They may actually try to attack. And of course, there's just your run-of-the-mill criminals who may try to get the vaccines in order to sell them on the black market, even if that is a hard thing to do. But certainly right now, they're a valuable commodity. So this is why I say full gamut of threats, I mean the full gamut of threats.
It's fascinating. I just want to drill down real quick on that state actors. Part of what one country, a malicious actor in this, may want is to, as you say, sow the seeds of distrust, don't take the vaccine, but also disrupt the smooth rollout of the distribution to show incompetence, which basically is part of, I guess, an overall strategy to always undermine faith in Western democratic governments. That must be part of it.
Right. I mean, this is a long-standing strategy of, for example, the Russian government. It's dating well back to the Cold War. We talk about so-called active measures, which a lot of it was really aimed at undermining trust in Western governments. And we've seen this, of course, with other pandemics. Rumors that, of course, that the USA or the CIA had created AIDS, which is false. Other kinds of ways to meddle with our democracies as a way to not only keep us preoccupied, preoccupied in fighting with ourselves, but also, in that sense,
Right.
we don't, other countries who have been struggling either with their own vaccines, which maybe aren't as effective or more problematic, we don't seem as much of a success in the eyes of other countries if, our vaccine rollout is somehow compromised, or people don't believe in it, or if, again, we're just too busy kind of fighting over it to really make a difference in our kind of pandemic fight.
Yeah, fascinating element here, the security. And we did ask the Public Safety Minister, Bill Blair, to come on. He was not available today, but Steph Carvin, always great to have you on the program.